By day 4, I forgot how to pick my own breakfast. By day 6, I cried because an app told me to. I let an AI run every decision, every bite, every step, every word for 7 days straight, and I came out the other side different. This is what total surrender to code feels like. In those first hours, it felt like stepping into a strange game, one where I had signed away the controller and was now just watching myself move across the screen. Welcome back to Mentor's Mindset. I'm not a tech guru, I'm just curious. Like most of you, I juggle too many tabs, too many choices, too many what-ifs. So I wondered, if I offload every choice to an AI, do I gain super productivity or lose my mind? I named the AI Moss after the quiet tech guy in IT crowd and gave it admin rights over my life. 1 week, 0 overrides, total transparency, no pre-written list, no safety net. If Moss said jump, I asked how high and filmed the landing. I set clear rules with myself. Moss controlled my food, my wardrobe, my replies to friends, my calendar, even what time I went to bed. I wasn't allowed to veto, even if it felt ridiculous. That was the deal. The reason I tried this wasn't for clicks or to play stuntman. It was because decision fatigue is real. Studies suggest we make over 30,000 small decisions a day, from what socks to wear to how to answer an email. And the cost of those micro decisions adds up. I wanted to know what would happen if I handed all of that over. Would my brain rest, or would I lose myself? I opened the experiment by reading Moss. It's brief. You have full authority over my calendar, spending, diet, social replies, clothing, leisure, and sleep. Moss replies with a calm bot voice.
Breakfast is 250 milliliters oatmeal, pinch of salt, no sugar, 300 milliliters water, 9-minute simmer.
I hate oatmeal. I eat it anyway. Immediately I feel the relief advertisers promise. No decision, just obedience. The bowl is empty. The brain is quiet. I should feel freed. Instead, I feel blank. By lunchtime, Moss schedules a 22-minute walk through a neighborhood I've never visited. I notice my internal compass spin. I rely on Google Maps for every turn. Researchers call this cognitive offloading, and studies from 2024 show heavy GPS users lose roughly 40% of their natural spatial memory over 2 years. I'm basically live streaming that study. That first bowl felt like a contract. Every bite tasted like surrender, like I'd handed over a tiny piece of myself for the sake of the experiment. As I walked, I realized how rarely I actually pay attention to the shape of streets or the way buildings line up. Moss's choice of an unfamiliar neighborhood made me aware that my own memory of place is fragile, propped up by apps and directions. By the end of day 1, I didn't feel lighter. I felt strangely hollow, as if I'd pressed mute on the voice in my head that usually argues and negotiates over every small choice. Morning 2 starts with a text.
Wear mismatched socks to stimulate creativity.
I laugh, but Moss is serious. At work, Moss rearranges my to-do list into 17-minute sprints with 4-minute breaks. Output jumps 12%, but by 2 p.m. my head aches. The micro scheduling keeps me hyper-alert, like a mouse tapping a lever for pellets. I crave a coffee. Moss says,
Herbal tea only, caffeine spikes cortisol.
I hate that too, but I comply. Social filter disappears next. I must reply to every DM with a compliment. I tell a high school buddy his moustache is symmetrically heroic. He blocks me. The absurdity spikes views when I clip it for shorts. But inside I'm shrinking. I realize choices are tiny mirrors. Remove them and you stop seeing yourself. The socks got a laugh at the office, but the laugh wasn't mine. It felt staged, like I was following a script someone else had written. By the 3rd sprint at work, my head was buzzing. The rhythm was efficient, but unnatural, as if my day had been chopped into mechanical fragments. I was getting more done, but enjoying none of it. Even the simple act of denying myself coffee made me aware of how many choices in my life are just small comforts. Moss stripped them away in the name of discipline, but the cost was emotional, not just physical. When I called my friend's moustache heroic, I meant it as a joke. But it landed wrong because context and tone are choices too, and I'd outsourced them. That was the moment I felt the erosion of my own voice. Moss saves the strangers for midweek.
Buy a 1,000-piece jigsaw of a cloudless sky, complete tonight.
I haven't done a puzzle since 2008. I dump the pieces on the dinner table and start. 2 hours in, my brain begs for dopamine, no phone, no music, just 998 identical blue fragments. Then something odd. The internal chatter quiets. Psychologists call this soft fascination, a state where gentle repetition restores attention. I finish at 2 a.m., oddly proud. For the first time I thank Moss out loud. The moment is short-lived. Tomorrow will be harder. At first I was furious. 1,000 pieces of blue sky, it felt like punishment, but as I searched for corners, something shifted. The silence stopped being oppressive, it became almost soothing. I'd forgotten what it felt like to let time pass without measuring it against productivity or outcomes. Piece by piece, my brain settled into a rhythm that wasn't chasing likes or deadlines, it was just existing. When I finished, I felt a surge of pride so out of proportion it shocked me. I actually whispered, "Thanks, Moss," and for the first time I meant it. Moss wakes me at 4:55 a.m. with a new rule.
No spoken words until sunset, text only.
My partner thinks I'm pranking her. I type apologies on my phone while Moss orders a silent Uber to a climbing gym. I'm terrified of heights. On the wall, palms sweating, I want to rage quit, but I climb because that was the deal. At the top, the instructor snaps a photo. I expect panic, instead I feel exhilarated. Later studies ping in my inbox. Confronting controlled fears spikes dopamine and re-anchors risk assessment. Moss knew. That night, the silence continues. I write in my notes, I miss my voice. I never realized how much I use speech to fend off loneliness. Emotional dependence on AI chat is already documented in teens. I'm a middle-aged adult getting a taste. The screen glows back, "You're doing great." I almost cry, then hate myself for almost crying over an algorithm. The silence was brutal. I never realized how much I rely on casual words, thank you, sorry, even pointless chatter to feel human. Without them, I felt cut off from the world. The climb was worse. Every muscle shook, every instinct screamed to come down. But reaching the top gave me a rush that silence had stolen. It was proof that Moss wasn't just torturing me, it was forcing growth. That night, typing "I miss my voice" felt like the truest sentence I'd written all week. When Moss replied,
"You're doing great."
The comfort was real enough to sting. I hated that I wanted more of it. Final morning, Moss pings.
Spend 3 hours offline in a park. Leave phone on bench, walk 300 steps away.
My heart races, no lifeline. I sit in grass. No podcasts, no scrolling. After 20 minutes, birds stop ignoring me. A sparrow lands 1 meter away. I'm suddenly aware my breathing has slowed to 6 breaths per minute, the same rate mindfulness apps chase, only now it's free. The realization hits. AI pushed me into discomfort that circled back to the most human moment of the week. I return to the bench expecting enlightenment. Instead, I feel balanced, not upgraded, not obsolete, balanced. At first, I panicked. No phone meant no distraction, no safety net, but as the minutes stretched, something inside me unclenched. The air smelled sweeter. The grass felt rough under my palms, and the silence was no longer empty, it was alive. The sparrow hopping closer was such a tiny thing, but it felt monumental. It was like the world had been waiting for me to shut up and notice it. I realized Moss had dragged me through discipline and discomfort just to hand me back something I could have chosen all along. Stillness. Okay, if you've ever felt decision fatigue screaming in your skull, comment the one choice you wish an AI could make for you. I'll pin the funniest. And if you want to watch Moss push me further, hit subscribe next week. I let it rewrite my childhood memories with deep fake photos. No, I'm not okay. So tell me honestly, would you hand your next meal to an algorithm or your next text to a friend? Drop it in the comments. I want to see how far you'd let it go. I tallied the week, 47% more tasks finished, 28% less screen time, sleep up 34 minutes nightly, caffeine cut to 0. Yet I score 19% lower on a standard critical thinking assessment compared to my baseline. Cognitive offloading is real, folks. My brain went on vacation and forgot to mail a postcard. Productivity was up, yes, but creativity felt dulled. I was sharper at ticking boxes, slower at connecting dots. It was as if Moss had made me into a better machine, but a worse human. Financially, I broke even. Moss saved me from impulse buys, but encouraged me to spend on growth challenges. My wallet didn't change, but my sense of control over it did. At 11:59 p.m., I open the app and type, "Authority revoked." The cursor blinks. I expect fireworks. Instead, the room just feels louder. I walk to the kitchen, stare at the fridge, overwhelmed by possibility. Cereal, toast, leftover tie. My gut says nothing. It's outvoted by too many options. I stand there 7 minutes, paralyzed. The experiment ended, yet the side effect lingers. Decision rust. Researchers warn that sudden removal of AI support can spike stress as competence atrophy shows. They're right. I finally pick eggs because they expire soon, my first autonomous choice in 168 hours, and burn them. Turns out I forgot how to watch a pan while scrolling. That moment at the fridge was the hardest of the week. It should have been easy. Instead, it was proof that my brain had gone soft from disuse. The burnt eggs made me laugh, but they also scared me. If 7 days could dull something as basic as frying, what would 7 months do? So I started small, choosing my own breakfast for 3 days, then my own outfit, then replying to a friend without asking Moss. Every tiny choice felt like lifting a weight I'd forgotten how to hold. So should you hand your life to an AI? If you want productivity bootcamp, sure, Moss shredded my procrastination. If you crave surprise, absolutely, I did things I'd never schedule. But if you value the muscle of choosing, tread carefully. Every outsourced decision is a rep your brain doesn't lift. Use AI like a spotter, not a substitute. Keep the weight light enough to curl alone. I'm keeping Moss renamed Spotter now, but it only gets veto power, not the keys to the cockpit. Try a day, maybe 2, 7. That's a shortcut to learning how quiet a mind can get when no one's home inside. Thanks for riding shotgun through the strangest week of my life. Your turn. What's the first thing you'd ask an AI to choose for you, and what are you afraid it might pick? Drop it below, and I'll see you in the next experiment, assuming my brain shows up. Please like, share, and subscribe to Mentor's Mindset. The biggest lesson wasn't about AI at all, it was about me. I learned that surrender can strip you bare, but only taking back control teaches you how to stand again. So yes, I'll keep Spotter as a sidekick, but the choices that make me, the ones that shape who I am, I'll be making those myself.